Hey, happy holidays to you and yours. My gift as Uncle Dan to you this season, 13 plays this week, including not one, but three 2-unit best bet plays of the week. Two of them are in the Bills game. The other one, a team comes off the blacklist. Roll tape. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Uncle Dan's Best Bets, brought to you here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Before we get started, as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it as always. Closing in on 30,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. If you need a last minute gift for somebody, I will give you picks and hopefully free money. You can give your friends and family the gift of a Buffalo Plus subscription. It is free. Just tell your friends and family about it, especially around this holiday season. Bills Mafia, appreciate it. Tell a friend. If you want to give me a gift, that's what you can do. I appreciate it as always. And Uncle Dan, this segment is sponsored by Incognito Menswear. Appreciate all that they have done for Uncle Dan this year. They're located in Penfield. If you need to fix up your wardrobe, that's where I get all my suits. I actually have to go later today, pick up a green suit that I ordered. Can't wait to get that. I worked with Alex. They were great. If you got a holiday party last minute, go check them out. If your son has a prom or a ball, or your son-in-law or somebody has a wedding coming up, make sure you check them out. I worked with Alex. He was great. You can't get this sweater there, but they have much nicer sweaters there as well. So be sure to check them out. Appreciate their support as always. All right, last week we kissed our sister. 5-5-1. Not great. It is what it is. We move on the season. Still one game over 500, 73, 72, and 2. Moving forward. I've said it before and it's gotten me in trouble, so I will temper my expectations. I really like this week. I like this week a lot. I'll just say that. I like this week a lot, so much. I've got 13 plays. One of a team that has been on the blacklist. They're off the blacklist. We're playing them this week. We will get to that, as well as I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays in the Bills game. And it has nothing to do with the total or a side. I will explain why. There is reason to stay away from the spread in that game. Also, if you hear any noise coming down, my daughter Shane is running around the house as well, as she is also on Christmas break from school. So all of that being said, let's get right into the picks this holiday season. 13 plays, and we start with the ugliest one of all. It is the Steelers, +3 at home versus the Bengals. This is a gross play. This is a hold your nose spot, but this is also a classic, and I mean classic, Mike Tomlin spot. It's the sharp play as well. 42% of the bets are on the Steelers, but 71% of the money. And AFC North games, you just bet the dogs. Over the last 10 years, the dogs in at AFC North games are hitting at nearly 60%, and they're 22-12 over the last 3 seasons. It's a winning formula to bet underdogs in these divisional games. And if you want to know why this is a Mike Tomlin spot, I almost don't have enough time to give you all of the data that backs it up. The Steelers, after allowing 30 points or more under Tomlin, the following week, 26-10-1. Under Tomlin, after they failed to cover by 7 points or more, 43-28-1 against the spread. Under Tomlin, the Steelers are 19-6-1 against the spread at home after allowing 30 plus points. Off a double-digit loss under Tomlin, 22-12 against the spread. Okay? All of these things paint the picture that this is a Tomlin spot. I don't know if the locker room has given up, but if there's ever a time where the Steelers and Mike Tomlin pull out a win, it is this week. So I will back them on Saturday afternoon in an ugly game, but at home, this is a system play. It's just Mike Tomlin at home. Don't think this is just what you bet. If I lose money this week, betting the Steelers and Tomlin as a home underdog, that's fine. I can live with it, but I can't miss this spot of backing Tomlin as a dog when everybody thinks this team stinks. I will back him here. And now let's get into the Bills game, because there's a lot to talk about here, and I know that's why a lot of people are at this channel. I got 6 plays in this game. The Bills are, depending on where you see them or where you're looking, I'm recording this on Friday afternoon, 12.5 to 13.5 point favorites. If you want some good news, Josh Allen has been a double-digit favorite 16 times in his career. The Bills have won 14 of those games. That's great. They don't seem to have let down spots that big and miss. But that's just a lot of points to back the Chargers. The Chargers right now are hammering the play. Everybody is backing the Chargers plus the point. They're 47% of the bets. They're getting 82% of the money. That is a lot of money and people on the Charger side. That's the sharp side there. The Chargers, why you're wondering, why is this also the case? Why, Dan, aren't you going to bet this? The Chargers stink. They do. But the Chargers have extra rest. They played on Thursday. They have an interim head coach. There could be new life in that locker room. And teams coming off a loss by 35 points or more are 19-4-1 against the spread all time. When teams are embarrassed, they tend to bounce back the following week. And Allen, like I said, he's 14-2 straight up in those games that he's been favored by double-digit points. He's only 7-2 against the spread. All of those things are why I will lean away from this game for the spread. I think there is value to be found in this game, but I'm not going to bet the spread in this one. What I will take is I will take the Bills first quarter minus 2.5. A lot of these trends that I'm looking at are since Joe Brady has taken over, since this team has really changed the last 4 weeks. And over those last 4 weeks, the Bills, especially under Sean McDermott and the way that defense is playing, has 3 shutouts in the first quarter over the last 4 games. They led 6-0 against the Jets. They led 7-0 against Kansas City. They led 7-0 against Dallas. The only game where they trailed was 7-0 against Philly, and then they scored 17 points in the second quarter of that game. But this is a team that has, under Joe Brady, gotten off to starts where they have scored routinely on the first or second drives. That bodes well for a hot start for the Bills. So I will lay the 2.5 right now for the Bills to win the first quarter. And then I have 5 player props. 2 of them are best bets, but I will start with Stephon Diggs. We have backed him before and it hasn't come in. A couple times he's just been a yard or 2 short. So I bet it right now. I have Stephon Diggs for a couple of reasons. I have over 69.5 receiving yards and I have over 6.5 catches. Okay, so those are 2 plays, and here's why. Last week, we saw that the running game was what worked, and Joe Brady believes that there's more than one way to win a game. They knew that they had to beat Dallas physically at the line of scrimmage. They ran the ball. That's what worked. But the Chargers secondary stinks. They're the 3rd worst in the league. They're allowing the 3rd most passing yards per game in the NFL. And some of those numbers are down a little bit the last few weeks, but that's because they've been getting blown out so bad that teams have been running the ball against them at the end of the games. So I think that this is the time where you showed you could run the ball in the elements. Now you show you can pass the ball in really good weather. This will be the best weather that Joe Brady has had as offensive coordinator. It was cold against the Jets. It rained against Philly. Kansas City was outside, a little windy, and Dallas, we know what the weather was here. So I think Joe Brady flexes his muscle and shows that features Stephon Diggs. I've talked about it before. He shines bright in primetime games. I know it's a Saturday Peacock game. I still think Stephon Diggs shows out in a primetime spot here. So I like the over 69.5 receiving yards. The Chargers secondary stinks. And I also like over 6.5 catches. Now, Diggs hasn't done that in a while. So I know you're thinking, Dan, what are you thinking about? He's still getting a lot of opportunities and targets. Over his last 4 weeks, again, sample size of Joe Brady. 8 targets, 11 targets, 11 targets, 5 targets against Dallas. That's the anomaly. That's the game where they ran the ball 49 times. So don't freak out about that. Diggs is still getting about 8 to 9 targets a game under Joe Brady. There's a lot of bubble screens. There's a lot of quick throws to him. He's dropped a couple. I think going inside into a dome in those elements where he doesn't have to worry about anything, I think Diggs has a big game. I see him going for 90 and 110 and a touchdown. So I will take the over 6.5 catches, and I will take the over 69.5 receiving yards. I will also take, here's my first best bet of the week. This is a stocking stuffer gift for you. Dalton Kincaid over 3.5 catches all day. This is a 2-unit best bet play. Dalton Kincaid has played 13 games this season. He has over 4 catches in 11 of them. One of the games was Dallas, where he didn't have a single catch. And again, we know how that game kind of went out of hand. They ran the ball 49 times. He has 5+ catches in 7 out of his last 8, Dallas being the only exception. Dalton Kincaid has been a go-to guy. 5.5 has burned us a couple times because he seems like he hits 5 and then they stop throwing to him. Like that's the limit he's allowed to catch. I really like him here at over 3.5. Again, I like the passing attack in this week against a Chargers secondary that is vulnerable. I will also take a couple James Cook props. I got 2 of them. I don't know when James Cook could get pulled in this game. That's why I don't have any Josh Allen props. I'm worried that this game could simply be Josh not playing in the entire second half because that's how bad the Chargers could be. That game could go in that direction. And I don't want to have to be banking on Josh to do something in the fourth quarter when he's benched for Brandon Allen. Kyle Allen. Whoa. Sorry about that. So I will take James Cook longest rush over 14.5 yards. He's done it 2 weeks in a row. He had a lot of big runs last week, and he's done it in 3 out of his last 5. He's starting to have a couple more explosive runs, which I will tail. So I like the longest rush to be over 14.5. And my other best bet is James Cook over 23.5 receiving yards. The Chargers give up a ton of receiving yards to running backs. Derwin James is not great in covering them out of the backfield, and James Cook has done that in all 4 games under Joe Brady. So that is my second best bet of the week. So recapping that Bills game, Bills first quarter, Stephon Diggs over 6.5 catches, Stephon Diggs over 69.5 receiving yards, Dalton Kincaid over 3.5 catches, James Cook longest rush over 14.5, and James Cook over 23.5 receiving yards. Let's go to the rest of the week for you. All right. 8th pick of the week. Colts plus 2.5 at the Falcons. I just think the Colts are a better team. Falcons, whether it's Taylor Heineke or not, they just seem like a dead man walking where that coach, again, Arthur Smith, is on his way to being fired. Love the way Minshew's been playing. They've been pretty good in domes. They've been pretty good on the road this year. Shane Steichen deserves to be in the conversation of coach of the year. Love what they're doing there. I think that's a unified team. I'm not sure what happened with Isaiah McKenzie and all of those things, but I think that's a unified team. I like them. I think they should be minus 2.5. This line's a little stinky to me, just like how I didn't bet the Rams and I liked them and just thought the line stunk. If this is a square play, this is a square play, but I'll do it. So give me the Colts plus 2.5. My 9th pick of the week. We'll start flying through these. I know we talked for a while. Titans plus 3.5 versus the Seahawks. This is just a perfect spot that screams Mike Vrabel. Like I talked about earlier with a Tomlin spot, this spot screams Vrabel. Seattle is 2-5 on the road this year. They had a short week off an emotional Monday night win. I will bet the team to have an emotional letdown. Titans, while I know they're not playing for a whole ton, Derrick Henry and them understanding the playoffs are out of the picture. I think this is just a team that plays hard for Vrabel in this spot. I like the home dog Tennessee in this one in a classic Vrabel spot. I also like the Browns and Texans over 40.5. As of right now, it doesn't look like CJ Stroud is going to play. That does concern me a little bit for Houston's side. But what I will say is that I've been on this for most of the season. The Browns defense isn't as good as people think it is. I said it's a lot of it is based on the opponents that they've played. They played some really bad offenses. At home, the Browns only allow 13.1 points per game. On the road, they allow 30.7 points per game. They're a totally different defense on the road. They're not that good on the road. I know that whether it's Case Keenum or CJ Stroud, I know that their offense isn't great, but to get the ball to 40.5, and I like the way Joe Flacco's playing. So I'm going to bet that. I like over 40.5 in that Browns-Texans game. And finally, I got 2 more games, 3 plays. It's time. It's time. It's time to do it. Remember back in week 7, I said this. For the record, the Detroit Lions, blacklisted. They are done. For the foreseeable future, we are not betting on the Detroit Lions. Did you know that the Detroit Lions are 14-3 against the spread in their last 17 games? I think I have hammered them on those 3 games that they have lost. So they are done. But now I'm coming back. We are taking the Lions off the blacklist, and we are betting them -3 at Minnesota. And here's a couple of reasons why. Minnesota's a dome. We love Jared Goff in a dome. Indoors, Jared Goff, 22-8 against the spread over the last 3 years. He's 11-5 against the spread versus the NFC North. And the Lions are 4-1 against the spread as a road favorite this year. Their letdown spots have been at home. This doesn't seem to be a letdown spot, especially coming off extra rest where they blew out the Broncos at home. I think that was a get-right game, and I don't think there's a letdown spot here because the division title is theirs if they win. I think Dan Campbell with extra time gets this team fired up for that game. I love the Lions here to not let me down. Don't do it, Lions. Don't do it. I just think they're the more motivated team, playing better. in this spot. I also like the Lions team total over 24.5 versus Minnesota. Vikings defense is actually worse at home than it is on the road. They're allowing 3 more points per game at home. Love what the Lions are doing. Again, you're getting the Lions at home in a dome. In a dome. You're getting Jared Goff indoors where he is much, much better. All the stats back that up. I will take them to score 25 points against a Vikings defense, which is okay. But I think the Detroit offense got back on track against a pretty good Denver defense. I like them to keep doing that this week. And finally, something I've done before. Timeout. My daughter's crying. What's wrong? You want me to take that out? Okay, come here. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? No. You want me to take the rubber bands out? No. You want your braid out? No. Let me work so hard in this braid. There you go. Is that all better? No. Or is there one more? Okay. No. You want your clips out too? Good? What do you say? No. You want everything out? What do you say? Can I have a kiss? Are we going to win all our bets this week? All right. Say, let's win all of our bets. Yeah. All right. You need help? All right. We're back. And finally, I will take the 49ers minus 5.5 at home against the Baltimore Ravens. This is the spot we have been riding the last few weeks. If you need the explanation, go back and look at the last few videos. It's good teams getting points, don't cover. It's just that simple. We talked about it last week against the Cowboys and the Bills. Everybody thinks, wow, no way. I can get the Ravens minus 5.5 points. That's a no-brainer. If they lose, they'll at least keep it with close. That's just not what the data has shown over the last few seasons. Good teams getting points don't cover. They cover about 30-something%. So while the Ravens may say they're disrespected, Vegas just doesn't give away free money. So those are the 13 plays for this week. I also like a couple of props I may go with. We've done Amon-Ra St. Brown a couple times. I also have leans on the Chiefs because teams that have scored 60-plus points usually have never covered the following week since 1970. They're 0-8 after teams scoring 60-plus points. Also, I'm tempted to do Cowboys because that's where all the sharp money is, but they're on the road. I don't trust them. The Jags, I like them, but I'm still worried a little bit about Trevor Lawrence and his concussion protocol. So those are ones I will monitor. I will tweet those out if I like them. Follow along. And possibly a 5-team moneyline parlay. Bills, Colts, Lions, Jags, Cowboys. It's plus 1,600. It'd be $10 to win 170. It's something I'm thinking about throwing out there, but nothing official on those plays. All right. So we got the video done. Appreciate it as always. Little interruption. You got to see Shane. Have a great holiday season. To you and yours. Take some time. Appreciate what you got. And I hope to appreciate and give you free money to spend more money on more picks. Appreciate it as always for everybody that follows along. It's never, like we talked about in the last podcast with Mike, it's crazy to me that people even follow this at all. So I appreciate it as always. Comment in with what your favorite play is this week. Let's be Sharks. Let's be Sharks this week. And let's just win. What if we just win all of our picks? Appreciate it as always. Again, thank you to Incognito. Thank you to subscribing to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it as always. And give a subscription to your family and friends. Let them know about it this holiday season. Appreciate it as always. Best of luck to you this week on your bets. Have a happy holiday. And I will see you before the end of the year.